Hello everybody and welcome back to a generic man wearing a generic Christmas sweater. It's a jumper. My name is Edinger, and this past Sunday I made a video comparing the US and the UK. If you can believe it, we talked about food delivery apps, Deliveroo, Just Eat, and the like, and you guys had a lot to say about it. A top comment coming from Sean who says, what do you make of Ireland categorizing the bread Subway uses in its sandwiches as legally cake because of the sugar content? I'm sorry, what? I don't know how I missed this, but this is a Guardian article that came out 2 months ago. A Subway bread is not bread, Irish court rules. A judge finds that the sugar content of US chains sandwiches exceeds the stipulated limit, and they should thus be classified as a confectionery. Now, if you follow my channel for a while, you'll know I bash Subway all the time, but that's only because where I'm from, Subway is the bottom of the barrel of hoagies. You can get any good hoagie anywhere else. But I guess if that's all you're used to, it must be pretty great. Now, to be fair, Subway is the only place in the UK I know of that has American-style bread, but it's not that sweet. I always feel like people are exaggerating when they're saying how sweet American bread is, but maybe, yet again, this is me pot calling the kettle black here, being used to it. I'm used to this sugary bread, but I will say, if you've ever had the 9-grain honey oat from Subway, that is pretty sweet. So what happened here? What happened in Ireland? As with most things, looks like this has to do with tax. Ireland has a value-added tax as a distinction between staple foods like eggs, bread, coffee, you know, the milk, stuff like that, versus confectionery sweets. So you're gonna be taxed higher on things that aren't staple foods. And so Subway is like, what do you mean, it's bread? But it turns out here that Subway's bread, in this case, has 5 times as much sugar as is allowed for a staple food. Wow, we've got a little chart here. So a 6-inch roll from Subway contains 5 grams of sugar, the same as 2 digestive biscuits. 2 digestive? Come on, that's a lot of bread to contain 2 biscuits. I'm not trying to defend them. I just happen to be defending them. So yeah, in an Italian roll, we've got 5 grams. I wonder what that means for the honey oat versus a slice of Colin the Caterpillar. I like how that's the scale. They're like, yeah, it's like Americans when they describe like, how far away? Oh, about 16 football fields. Britain people like, how much sugar? Britain people? British people be like, how much sugar? Oh, it's about a 0.2 Colin the Caterpillars. How is Colin not a staple? I don't know. Subway argues that their bread is in fact bread. But I say, sure, you can argue that, but you probably shouldn't pay the tax on that. It also says here that they were also under fire in 2014 for putting an ingredient in their hoagie rolls that's the same ingredient used in the manufacture of yoga mats. So I mean, I'm just saying, I've always been on the right team in this regard, okay? Subway is always trash, don't eat at Subway. But also, the cookies are good. Just to be fair though, I did actually have to check to see how many grams of sugar were in a shorty roll from Wawa, which is a 6-incher. 0 to 1. All right, I'm good to feel smug. It tastes amazing and it's not full of sugar. Okay, I win. For a moment, I was happy that the UK was doing better, but then I realized that just meant the US was really bad and not that we're doing really good. Yeah, I feel like that's the way most of these go. If it's like incredibly one-sided, it's like, oh, no matter who wins, everyone kind of loses in a way. Though to be fair, I was happily surprised to find that Uber Eats and Deliveroo in the UK specifically have such good insurance packages and have things such as, you know, maternity leave and paternity leave for their workers, even if they're drivers and therefore not employees in the States, because that is just one essential worker right that I'm very thankful exists in the country that I currently live in. And I just really hope that benefits like maternity and paternity leave find their way more into the US so more people can enjoy what I see as something that really just should be a thing. Snoop Dogg voice. Did somebody say, Just Eat? I actually haven't seen the advert. I don't really watch many ads because I don't watch TV. I wish we could do polls on YouTube. Why did they take it away? I want to know how many of you guys actually watch TV versus watching YouTube. I mean, you're watching YouTube now, but I don't know the last time I actually watched TV was. I watch everything on my computer or on streaming from the internet, so I don't know, I've not really seen the Snoop Dogg guy that everyone keeps talking about. But hey, the marketing seems to be working on y'all, because that comment was left a lot. Did somebody say food delivery monopoly? Me, trying desperately to think of an interesting thing to comment to get into the community video. Well, look at this. You didn't comment anything interesting at all, and yet you still made it here. How's it feel? Dragging my fans. When Evan says we, and he means British people, you've successfully integrated yourself, Evan. That's quite derivative of you to say. No, thank you. But also, I refer to myself as we on both sides because I'm binational. Okay, that's my class. I swing both ways. Sometimes I'm like, yee-haw, Yankee Doodle. And the other times I'm like, just a bit of tutting. Oh, hey, Evan and the Edit here. Just so you know, Christmas is right around the corner and I'm having a crazy Christmas sale on my merch. Did you guys even know I have merch? I haven't talked about it on this channel in like 4 years. We've got the classic, the cactus tee, the make puns, not war, and the never released online before Evan Edinger word search tee. I still can't find my name, but it's on there somewhere. They said I couldn't put a tank on a tank top and say this is my tank top, but I freaking did it. We've got wristbands that say I'm banned from telling puns. The pun is right there on the band. Also, all of my older merch designs are still available, and they're going to be heavily discounted for the first time ever. Just get rid of it. Just take my merch. Get rid of it. 25% off everything in the store. evanedinger.bigcartel.com. Use code Kevin at checkout for that 25% off. Kevin's name, my lava lamp, not my secret lover. Though I do love him. Anyway, back to today's scheduled entertainment. Goodbye. These are jobs. These people should get the minimum plus money for each delivery. This is scamming young people into underpaid hard labor in England. Obviously, like I said, it is a dangerous job, but I wouldn't go as far as to say hard labor. Bit of a stretch, but I do agree with most of your argument there. I mean, that's the whole point of minimum wage. But another video that I have been researching for the future that was inspired by this one is the whole minimum wage versus the living wage versus the London living wage in the UK. Because if you guys aren't aware, there's a lot of different tiers of minimum wage, and I think some of them don't make a lot of sense and are a bit ageist, as you can imagine, if you know what I'm going to be talking about, but that video's coming in the future, so subscribe. Wow, can you believe it? I'm asking you to subscribe. Wow. I live in a village, and none of the delivery providers deliver to me. It would be interesting to see how the range of areas covered in the UK and US differs. Can you believe? All right, just come with me here. Can you believe I still forget sometimes that I live in London and that's a bubble? Can you believe this? I watched Drew's video and I thought it was so good and interesting, and I was like, that's such an interesting topic that everyone uses delivery apps. So I make my video and I was like, everyone in the UK uses delivery apps. Are you with me, guys? And then everyone in the North is like, what's that? Huh? We can't get that. I just call up my local Chinese restaurant. I mean, it makes sense why a lot of small villages wouldn't have access to like Deliveroo and some of those bougier type ones, but I feel like Just Eat probably still thrives up there. I did see a lot of comments from people saying that's the only one you had in your area, so makes sense. But yeah, that's just another example of me going, this thing that I experience, that everyone I know experiences, this is a thing everyone experiences. ... In a city. As a quick tidbit of something I find interesting, in the UK, some people refer to where they live as in a village. That will never be a thing in the US. I feel like the word village in the US is like a medieval term for a town. You say a very small town, but village, it's just funny. Every time I see village, when someone says, I live in a village, I'm just imagining like thatched roof cottages, Trogdor coming around the corner, people bring out your dead. I'm a small village. The idea that Uber Eats doesn't consider drivers employees is even worse if you realize that these companies paid billions of dollars to change California laws, Proposition 22, so app-based drivers don't get benefits. Yeah, it's super messed up. It wasn't billions, not to be like, oh, it's not that bad, but it is bad. They got together, Lyft, Uber, they advertised so much all over the state of California and basically bought themselves a law for around $205 million, which is really scary to think about it. It's another example of having money and being able to pass legislation in a way. And sure, it's not as bad as lobbying or corruption in a way. It was just advertising, be like, hey guys, drivers, those freelance workers, they should be independent contractors. It's great. They get more flexibility. And because they spent so much money, and there's a lot of people that aren't as knowledgeable in the world / California even, it passed. And it is tragic because the main things that these drivers have now missed out on because of this past proposition, being afforded a minimum wage, wow, overtime, expenses, paid sick days and leave, healthcare, and unemployment insurance. All these things they missed out on because it was voted in the state that, you guys are freelancers, don't worry about it, you're independent contractors. Because $205 million worth of advertising told them that was the case. Who would have thought that corporations with access to incredibly large sums of money would ever put the value that all of their shareholders make at the end of the day over human rights? Just can't believe it. It's videos like these that make me realize why I'm subscribed. I'm sure I'm not your target audience, white straight guy who drinks lager and loves football and combat sports. I'm trying to think of the polar opposite of that, and I'm like, is that my target demographic? That's fine. What is my target demographic? But your content is really good. Oh, thanks. Really well thought out, researched, and delivered. Pun intended. Oh, because food delivery. I see. It's also a really nice change to my usual subscription section. Keep it the great work. Thank you very much, Morgan. I appreciate comments like that so much. I don't really understand what my Prime demo is. I'm just kind of making videos that I like and that I think are interesting, and some of those videos are going to do really, really well, and a lot of you will really like them, and other ones people will be like, I don't really care about that. And that's okay, as long as I still have the freedom to make those types of videos. For instance, even though I know it's only going to interest like 0.1% of you, I'm still really interested to make a video showing my color grading workflow, because I just think it's really fun, and I know it could be helpful to other people that also shoot with the same camera as me. And I think that'd be really fun to do in the middle of the week and be like, you guys don't have to watch this one, that's okay. Just gonna show you some behind the scenes, because my last behind the scenes video, as much as I really loved it, it took a lot of time to make, also didn't get like 1/10 of the normal views. So I was like, that's all right, because I very much enjoyed it, and I had friends messaging me like, oh, thanks, what was this thing you did? And I was like, ah, sweet. So it makes me feel like I'm still making fulfilling content about different chains, and I'm not in a single box where I have to make the same content every day. I just have to understand some content will slap, other content will bap. Little sandwich. I don't think I've ever paid more than £2 for Deliveroo. That's because, do you live right next to every store, or is it just that Deliveroo overcharges in London? Probably that last one. Gosh dang it, London! Evan needs to stop putting the wrong British flag in his thumbnails. The diagonal red lines shouldn't line up with each other. I am so stupid. I have actually had, like, I made a template of a certain type of thumbnail when I do British versus American videos, and I made this template, I say 4 years ago, and I just kind of bring it in, and I've updated it so much, but I've always used that same flag, which is embarrassing. My friend Kim called me out once because she, like, went to Google Images, typed in British flag, and she was like, you could have chosen any of them and would have been right, except for the one in the middle that I chose. Because, I just need to update it. Don't worry, won't be the same going forward. Thank you very much for the comment. Oops. But that about does it for today's community video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys this upcoming Sunday for a special video edited by my friend Kim. Got another editor on board for certain videos. This one, all me. Anyway, hope all you are having a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.